She say she want hood nigga. I keep the perk by the pound. The trunk stay bumped and y'all know we run the town. Hood nigga. And I keep a bad bitch around. Thick bitch, long hair, yellow, white, red, brown. Hood nigga. And my Chevy sitting on 24s. Flats look like flapjack. Pancake, you ain't no hood nigga. I'ma play the game how it go. They can take me out the hood, but I'ma keep it hood, folks. I'm on that good and alcohol. I got some down bitches I can't call. What's that? I don't know what I would do without y'all. I'ma fall till the day I fall. Yeah, long as my bitches love me. I can give a darn about no hate as long as my bitches love me. I can give a darn about no hate as long as these bitches love me. I can give a darn about no hate as long as these bitches love me. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this country shit. Country shit. Country shit. Let me tell you about this super fly, dirt coast muddy water. Shorty, pop that pussy if you wanna. Let me tell you about this old school pouring lean, candy yams and collard greens, pocket full of stones, riding clean.
Well, I'm just one parlay away from a new house, new car. I'm just one parlay away. Trust I'ma take us far. I'm just one parlay away. One parlay away. One parlay away. Oh, I took the Chiefs on over, took my homes on yards. Everything is going good so far. Lakers beating the Knicks. Spread is only 6. 2 minutes left in the game, baby. I'm about to hit. Ow!
I need out, yeah, I need out. Blood pressure higher than a body count. Tomorrow she has to go. She's a mama. I think I married a hoe. Married a hoe. I said, mama, I think I married a hoe. I made a mistake, mama. No, oh no. I want you. A man can't do nothing for you. All these hoes ain't loyal. All these hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. 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 These hoes ain't loyal. When a rich brother wants you and your man can't do nothing for you. All these hoes ain't loyal. Ain't loyal. Whoa, these hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. 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 These hoes ain't loyal.
All right, y'all. We back up in here with another one, man. Welcome back, y'all, to another one, another episode of the JVJ Network. And I am your host. Let's talk with JVJ. But real quick though, let me get my music up in here, man. We going with Otis tonight. We're gonna go with Otis tonight, man, because it's gonna be a little history lesson tonight, y'all, man. I hope everybody doing all right, everybody doing fine, man. Y'all hit that like, subscribe, share, turn notifications on, all that in the bag of chips on your way in. Cause this one right here, this one gonna be something, man. We about to really get a history lesson today, y'all. So people can kind of understand, because like we actually had to do this a little while ago when there was a conflict with what was it? When the Palestinians and Israelis were getting into it and shit. Yeah, we had to do a story on that one, a little breakdown. And we're gonna do a similar one to that, y'all, tonight on this Israeli-Iran, all this crap going on right now. Cause y'all know we in another war, y'all. You know, I promise you, no more wars. The Democrats, they want to bring wars, but you know we in a war right now. You know, we're gonna talk about it so we can get some little education up in here to get some understanding about what's really going over there. What's really going on? Because obviously we know it's a distraction, one thing, but also there's a history of why this shit is popping off, and we're gonna get into it, man. Shout out to my boy Hurricane. I seen him up in the building. He said salute. Hit me with the A, ain't loyal, yeah, them hoes ain't loyal. You know, I was two-stepping over here. I be two-stepping at the desk, y'all. I be over here like that, be getting it in real quick, like, hey, watch out now. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in, like Hurricane said, and yep, great history lessons. We need it, man. So, like, we're gonna get into it. And shout out to the channel by the name of Geopolitical Economy Report. Geopolitical Economy Report. All right, shout out to them for the video, man, because he's gonna give you a full breakdown of the whole situation of everything that's been transpiring and leading up to what's going on. And then we're gonna talk about how I don't know, a lot of people understand that the United States is probably not really ready for this type of war, but we're gonna talk about that afterwards though. We got to get the lesson out of the way first, understand why this shit's even going on. But then Hurricane, before we get started, he said, and put these people up on Albert Pike, World War III. He talked about this in the 1800s. Yeah, on some real ass shit, man. A lot of people like prophecies are coming true. But either way, as usual, y'all know before we get started, man, get your cigarettes, get your weed, get whatever you need. Because we about to go ahead and get into it. Let's shout out. Matter of fact, let's just go and get into it, man. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Shout out shit. We ain't shouting out nothing around here tonight besides, you know, this shit. Let's go.
The United States and Israel are waging a war of aggression against Iran.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
On the 28th of February, the U.S. and Israel launched a surprise attack on Iran. This came at a time when the U.S. claimed that supposedly it was participating in peace talks with Iran, but Washington violated those peace talks and launched what it called preemptive strikes, which is blatantly illegal according to international law. This is...
And look, I do want to say this just to do a reminder, because, you know, a lot of people got short memory spans. Y'all remember when the Ukraine and Russia, they still warring right now too. You know, there's a whole lot of white on white violence going on around here. But, you know, they were warring and they were supposed to be in ceasefire talks. And Vladimir Putin, like, while they're in talks, was shooting out rockets, and Trump's tweeting on on X talking about, Vladimir, stop. It's like, you can't be firing at people while you're negotiating a treaty or negotiating any type of peace. And then a couple months later, you know, Donald Trump does the exact same thing that he was tweeting at Vladimir Putin not to do. Just want to throw that out there for the people that forgot about that, because, you know, that did happen. You can go look up the tweet. Or it might have been a truth, because, you know, you got that Truth Social.
An imperialist war of aggression. And it must be emphasized that this has nothing to do with nuclear weapons. Donald Trump gave a speech in which he admitted that the goal of the U.S. is to overthrow the Iranian government and put in power a puppet regime like the CIA did when it carried out a coup d'etat in 1953 against Iran's democratically elected leader. Today,
yeah, I bet y'all didn't know nothing about that coup d'etat, huh? Either way, though, still learning. Let's keep going.
The U.S. empire is once again trying to overthrow an independent government. In his speech, Trump threatened members of the Iranian military and said they must put down their weapons, and if they don't, the U.S. empire will eliminate them,
To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death.
And then Trump openly called for the people of Iran to overthrow their government. Again, this is not about non-existent nuclear weapons. This is about regime change and imperialism.
Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere.
Does he not know that bombs, like usually you bomb like facilities and vehicles and things of that sort? So you telling them to stay inside. What if they house, they building is a target of one of your missiles? Oh, you just don't want them to run around and do nothing, huh? You know what I mean? Like, dude, what are you talking about? And why are you giving this speech in a baseball cap? Like, it's one thing for me to do my show in a baseball cap. Man, you the president of the United States talking about how you about to go to war with another country without any congressional approval. Like, what are we talking about? You see, Hurricane said, I wish other countries tell us to overthrow our government, but I'm only one. Hey, look. And the sad part, if they did, you already know they would call them terrorists and all that other woot stuff, you know, just like they talk about Iran. They chant death to America, probably because you keep killing all their leaders. And you up in their country doing crazy shit. Like, why the hell would somebody, I don't get that. Why would somebody that cut me 1,000 times try to complain when I say death to them because they keep cutting me? I just don't get it. But, you know, either way, though, you know, my brain don't think that way. My brain don't think that way. Maybe I'm just thinking the wrong way. But either way, though, let baseball cap president in chief keep telling us what's going on.
We are finished. Take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force.
But Washington also underestimates the ability of Iran to respond and defend itself. And immediately after the U.S. launched this war of aggression, Iran started attacking U.S. military bases in the region. The U.S. has surrounded Iran with more than 40,000 troops in dozens of military bases and installations. And these are all targets that Iran can and will hit. So immediately in response to this U.S.-Israeli war of aggression, Iran bombed the Al Udeid air base that the U.S. has in Qatar. This is the largest U.S. military base in the region. And Iran also hit U.S. military bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, and the UAE. And this is just in a few hours after the initial U.S.-Israeli attack. So the arrogance of politicians in Washington can actually end up being their Achilles heel, because Donald Trump came to the wrong lesson after invading Venezuela on the 3rd of January and kidnapping Venezuela's internationally recognized constitutional president.
Yeah, let's not forget about that, y'all. You know, we it's America first. Make America great. America first. And it seems like this man been in everybody else's country since he got in office, bro. Because we did just kidnap that guy the other day, like last month. When they got him, just went to their country and took their president. But now we over in Iran. Oh, we already supposedly deleted their leader too, and a couple other high officials. You know, we all about that. You know, peace, love, you know, democracy, but we'll kill your leader whenever we feel like we need to, and we'll just say you're a threat, but no evidence. You know, let's keep going though.
Nicolas Maduro. But Venezuela is much smaller and much weaker than Iran. Venezuela has a population of less than 30 million people, whereas Iran has more than 93 million people. Iran is significantly larger than Iraq, which the U.S.
Yeah, and for all my people that said, you know, well, we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, look at them numbers right there when it comes to the population, bro. The bigger your population, the bigger the economy you have, the more power you have to buy things and, you know, strengthen yourself. We didn't win the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, just so everybody knows that, right? We spent trillions and trillions of dollars on that war and didn't win, didn't get nothing out of that shit. Now we going to mess with a bigger country. A country that's literally double their size? Y'all, I'm just throwing it out there for the people that don't know in the back. America has not won a war since World War II. So for all them rah-rah guys in the back, they be talking about, man, we're America, we're bigger than them and all this woo-woo stuff, we'll win it. Y'all don't know nothing about war. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. I can speak on a little bit just because, I had to fight in two of them bitches. But you ain't got to take my word for it. You're going to have some other experts come in here and tell you too. But y'all don't know how war works. Bro, this is a uphill battle right here that the United States is trying to get into. Because it's not like how people think you just drop a nuke and just walk off to the sunset. We won. That ain't how it works. But either way, though, just gonna throw it out there to y'all. Just give y'all a heads up because we are gonna speak on that a little later.
The U.S. invaded in another war of aggression in 2003, and let's not forget that the U.S. lost the war in Iraq. This is why Trump warned in the speech that he gave after he started this war that U.S. troops may lose their lives fighting this imperialist war of aggression.
The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives. We ask God.
Hold on. Before you go any further, we all know when it came to like World War II, the Japanese Pearl Harbor and things were going on over there in the other part of the world. We know the lie that was told to us when it came to Afghanistan and Iraq. They had weapons of mass destruction or whatever the hell. What is the goal? What is the reasoning for this with Iran? And I'm asking that question mainly because, just a couple months ago, when Trump took the word of Benjamin Netanyahu and nuked their nuclear sites, said that he obliterated any nuclear option they would ever have. They're set back decades. If it's not about the nuclear problem, what is it about? They said the whole thing with Venezuela and Maduro, the drug trafficking, even though there was no evidence to prove that, they at least had a reason for that. What is the reason for this? Well, even if they want to make up a lie, because that's probably what they're going to do anyways. Like, can we get a reasoning for why we're doing this? Besides, Israel told us to do it. Because that's what I think it is. And a distraction from, all the Epstein files and all that other stuff. Because, he fucking up right now. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, when are they going to actually announce the lie that they want everybody to believe? Because right now, it don't seem like nothing besides, Israel. But let's keep going now. I'm sorry.
To protect all of our heroes in harm's way. And we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail.
Whoa. What's that?
Oh, yeah, we got commercials, y'all.
Got commercials. Guys.
All right,
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu published a message on Twitter calling to overthrow the Iranian government. I should remind people that Netanyahu is currently wanted, as we speak, by the International Criminal Court for the crimes against humanity he committed against the Palestinian people in Gaza with the full support of the U.S. empire. And now Netanyahu and Trump are waging another imperial war of aggression. And Netanyahu admitted that this is about regime change. He said, quote, "Our joint operation will create the conditions for the brave Iranian people to take their fate into their own hands, to cast off the yoke of tyranny and bring freedom and peace-loving values to Iran," end quote. So this is the same old colonial rhetoric we heard from the European empires who said they had to civilize the barbaric native populations, indigenous peoples of the lands they colonized in order to exploit their natural resources, to rob them of their natural wealth. And the Western colonialists claimed that they were spreading civilization. It was part of the white man's burden. This is the same rhetoric we hear today from the colonialists in Tel Aviv and Washington. And it must be emphasized, this is not just about Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. A lot of people are focusing on the internal politics in the U.S.
Now, I want you to understand this. Here you go, Hurricane. They're going to speak. He actually going to speak on that, what you was talking about. They're going to speak on that. I be leaving it alone because I'm trying to stay as far away from conspiracy theories as I possibly can. But they going to speak on it. And I know about it. And it don't sound too off board, man. It sounds all right.
U.S. and Israel. The U.S. has a midterm election coming up. in 2026. Netanyahu has faced charges of corruption that are very well documented. And certainly Trump and Netanyahu want to increase support domestically, and they want to be remembered in history as the leaders who overthrew the revolutionary Iranian government. But this goes back much longer. This is not just about the individual leaders today in the US and Israel. The US empire has been trying to overthrow the Iranian government for decades. Immediately after 9/11, after the attacks on September 11th, 2001, the former top US military general Wesley Clark, who was a commander of NATO, he revealed that the Pentagon made plans to overthrow 7 governments in West Asia and North Africa. Those governments were Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. And the US succeeded in overthrowing the governments in 6 of those 7 countries. The only remaining country is Iran. Listen here to this very revealing admission by a former top US military general. And keep in mind, he said this 2 decades ago, before anyone ever thought in a million years that Donald Trump would become president.
Right after 9/11, about 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." He said, "I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
So again, it must be emphasized that this US-Israeli war of aggression against Iran has nothing to do with nuclear weapons. Iran does not have nuclear weapons and has not tried to get nuclear weapons. If Iran had nuclear weapons, the US and Israel would not be attacking it right now. This is why the US...
That part right there. And for all the people in America that are still brainwashed and think that, you got to be super behind everything the federal government does in the so-called name of Americans, y'all that still believe that, I just want to let y'all know y'all don't. Y'all don't. A lot of these countries that the United States picks on, they pick on them because they have no ability to defend themselves in a real way. They have to rely on other allies to help them. Bigger powers like Russia or China or North Korea or something like that. People that the United States don't fuck with. They have to allow them. But the United States has shown time and time again, if there's a smaller country and they have something that the United States wants, or, wherever the fuck, they ain't got no nuclear weapons, they can't defend themselves, and for some reason we need a distraction, it's gonna fuck them up. Or maybe we need to, do the conspiracy, bring about the end of days, bring heaven on earth, whatever the hell, whatever they trying to do, they'll do it because these countries can't defend themselves. And that was the biggest argument. Because y'all seen what he said earlier. The United States attacked Iran, Israel and the United States attacked Iran, and what did Iran do? They didn't just cower and just run off. No, they just started firing off motherfucking drones and missiles everywhere. So hey, fuck it. So they know if they attacked them when they had a nuke, what you think was going to happen? So they don't want them to have a nuke just so they can keep doing exactly what they're doing right now. That's why I'm like, look, man, everybody get rid of them, or everybody get them. Like plain and simple, everybody get rid of them, or everybody get them. I know that's like a white and black type situation, and when we know we need some problem in between. But I'm just saying though, like for real, the United States only one that's got a history of dropping them bitches. Ain't nobody else dropped one besides them. But they want to tell everybody else who can have one. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how this shit play out. But you don't know your past, you're doing to repeat it.
Has never attacked North Korea because North Korea does actually have nuclear weapons.
Yep.
What's actually happening here is that the Trump administration is just regurgitating the same lies that the George W. Bush administration used to try to justify its illegal imperialist war of aggression against Iraq in 2003, when the CIA falsely claimed that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, WMDs, and the US corporate media obediently regurgitated these lies on behalf of the CIA. If Iraq actually had nuclear weapons, the US would not have invaded. The same situation is true in Iran today. And let's not forget the recent history, which is rarely mentioned in Western media. Back in 2015, Iran signed a nuclear deal with the US and the 4 other permanent members of the UN Security Council, plus Germany and the European Union. they all came together to sign the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the JCPOA. That was known as the Iran nuclear deal, and Iran agreed that it would never develop nuclear weapons in return for the US and other Western countries lifting the illegal sanctions that they had imposed on Iran to try to crush the Iranian government. And the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, said very clearly that Iran was abiding by the nuclear deal. It was not developing nuclear weapons. But what happened in 2018? During his first administration as US president, Trump illegally tore up the nuclear deal, violating a UN Security Council resolution that the US had previously voted for under Obama. And then Trump imposed illegal sanctions on Iran. So Trump destroyed the Iran nuclear deal. And then when Trump came into office as US president for his second term in 2025, he claimed he wanted to negotiate another nuclear deal with Iran. And then what happened? In June 2025, the US and Israel attacked Iran again in what became known as the 12-day war. And the Wall Street Journal admitted that the US did not actually want real peace talks, real negotiations. Instead, Washington and Tel Aviv were using these fake peace talks as a ruse, as a cover, as an illusion, while they were planning the surprise attack against Iran. And this is exactly what the US and Israel have done yet again this February 2026, launching another war of aggression against Iran on a much bigger scale. They want regime change. They think the Iranian government is weak and they can overthrow it and put a puppet regime in power. It is the US and Israel that do not want peace. They do not support diplomacy. They never actually wanted these peace talks and these fake negotiations. By the way, Iran's current president is a reformist. The Western media praised him when he was elected, saying that Masoud Pezeshkian is a reformist who wants to improve relations with the West. He wants to agree to another Iran nuclear deal, despite the fact that many critics in Tehran said that you cannot ever trust the West. You cannot trust the United States and Israel because they violate every agreement they sign. And that's exactly what happened yet again. Ask Native Americans what it's like signing agreements with the US government. They know that the US government can never be trusted because what the US government wants is not peace, it's hegemony, it's complete dominance over this very important geostrategic region, the Middle East, or a better term is West Asia. It goes without saying that many of the world's largest producers of oil and natural gas are in this region. The US wants to control all of those resources. And in particular, the US empire is waging a new Cold War.
And just look at that list real quick. Like, let's go back and look at that list. Let's take a look at that list real quick. Like, you got United States, number one, obviously. We can't use a lot of our oil. We got to send it out to get refined, then we can get it. Saudi Arabia, obviously, we've always been buddy locked up with them, even though they was on the planes that did 9/11. But, you know, people don't want to talk about that. Russia, obviously, we don't like them. Don't mess with them. Canada, that's an ally right next to us. But next on that list is Iran. So who would be the first person on that list in the top five that somebody, the United States, would probably attack? Obviously, Iran, right? They not attacking China. Well, that's actually Iraq. I'm sorry. They did attack Iraq. They went in there and tried to get that oil. They tried to get that oil. I don't know how that worked out for them. Didn't work too well. But Iran, number 7, bro. Not going to attack China. Not going to attack Russia. You're not going to attack Saudi Arabia. They're not going to attack them. But they're definitely, and they're not going to attack they'll definitely go after Iraq. They'll definitely go after Iran. They're not going to go after the United Arab Emirates. Eventually, they might get to the point where they want to try to mess with Brazil. You know, he did say Cuba's next on his list. Cuba next on his list. He said that today, y'all, just so y'all know about that. But either way, though, we're gonna keep going. Yeah, this is very hilarious. He didn't say that oil, y'all. He did say that oil, man. Look, it's all about that oil. It's all about that oil. Where Black Bush at, man? Where's Black Bush at?
Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
Something about that liquid, that black gold, they call it. Black gold, right?
And natural gas are in this region. The US wants to control all of those resources. And in particular, The US empire is waging a new Cold War against China, and the US wants to cut off China from its most important sources of energy, which is also why the US invaded Venezuela and kidnapped Venezuela's president. It's not a coincidence that more than 80% of Venezuela's oil exports were going to China. And by the way, China also buys about 80% of Iran's oil exports. And China is the largest importer of oil on earth and the number one purchaser of oil from the Persian Gulf region. China buys a lot of oil from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UAE, Kuwait, Iran, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain. The US wants to control all of this so US corporations can profit and exploit them. And the US wants to cut off China from this energy as the US prepares for a future war with China to do the same thing to China that it's trying to do to Iran, to have total global domination and global hegemony to restore the unipolar global order. That is the goal of the US empire.
And there's a lot of people I know that are in America that be like, hell yeah, America needs to run all this shit. And I'm not really for that shit, y'all. I'm not for taking other people's shit because that's all America. America is a country that was built off of theft. Theft, murder, rape, a whole bunch of other atrocities, y'all. This shit wasn't built on no solid ground. It was built on quicksand. And this is what happens when you start to get to the end of the road and shit starts to seem a little shaky and a little rough. You start doing sporadic and erratic things. Like, you know, kidnapping presidents and attacking countries in the Middle East or Southeast Asia, as they like to say it now. Motherfucker tripping, bro. Just they tripping, just like you know, the white boys in America right now, they talking about, oh, they're trying to replace us. Ain't nobody trying to replace you. You just can't get no pussy and the job market ain't looking too hot for you. That's all that is right there. But you need to blame the people at the top for that and stop blaming your neighbor for that shit. But either way, though, they getting a little shaky and they start freaking out, bro. They start freaking out. They start doing crazy shit.
By the way, this is currently what Donald Trump is doing to Cuba. The U.S. empire is trying to crush Cuba with an oil blockade, starving the country of fuel to try to collapse the economy to overthrow the government. And Trump said, he admitted, they want a takeover of Cuba. So we see how the U.S. empire is using access to oil and other natural resources as a geopolitical weapon to overthrow governments it doesn't like, to impose global hegemony.
I'm grateful for many things, and talk-space therapy is one of them.
Fuck talk
because
space.
And when we look at the Middle
fuck is talk space. Fuck talk space.
East, West Asia, this extremely important region, Israel plays the key role as an extension of the U.S. empire, as an outpost, a beachhead of the U.S. empire. Netanyahu himself boasted that Israel is a mighty aircraft carrier of the U.S., an unsinkable aircraft carrier. And by the way, Netanyahu is an American. He had U.S. citizenship twice. He only gave up his citizenship in order to become the prime minister of Israel. He was educated and spent the most formative years of his life in the U.S. He worked in Boston with Mitt Romney and other Republicans. He's been a friend of Trump for decades. He is an American settler colonialist in West Asia who is trying to colonize the region on behalf of the U.S. empire. And Iran is the biggest obstacle to U.S. imperial control of one of the most important regions on earth. Never forget that back in 1951, Iran had a democratically elected prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, who was not a communist. He was not even a socialist. He was a left-wing nationalist who nationalized the oil of Iran. He said, our oil...
Oh yeah, they got him smacked, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, they got him smacked. He's like, the stuff underneath our ground is for our people. We need to benefit from it and profit off of it. United States, hell no. I'm trying to tell y'all, they smacked him. He gonna let you know they smacked him. United States don't believe that your shit is your shit. Your shit is our shit if we want to take it. That's America right there for you. And we had so many people out here waving that flag. They wonder why they go to other countries and people don't like them. You don't know the country that you actually live in. If you did, you would speak out against it if you actually had a heart. But, you know, a lot of people don't know. And some of them do know, ain't got no goddamn heart. But either way, though, I want y'all to see how they smacked him.
Belongs to us, not to British and American corporations. So what happened? In 1953, the US and the UK carried out a coup d'etat The CIA and Britain's intelligence service, MI6, organized a coup d'etat that overthrew the democratically elected Prime Minister Mossadegh, and the US put in power the Shah, a king, a monarch, a dictator. The US does not care one iota about democracy. None of this has to do with democracy. This is imperialism. The US wants to put in power a puppet who will govern Iran on behalf of the US empire and allow US corporations to exploit Iran's natural resources and to exploit the labor of the Iranian people. If you listen to the rhetoric of imperial planners in Washington, they used to talk about how Iran was part of their so-called twin pillars strategy. The US empire tried to control the Middle East, West Asia, with two pillars. The Western pillar was Saudi Arabia, and the Eastern pillar was Iran. However, in 1979, the people of Iran rose up in a revolution and they overthrew.
Man, how you say it? Man, is it Iran or is it Iran? Because I know he's saying Iran, but I ain't gonna lie, that might sound right because you know we spell shit differently in America, but I'm like, it's Iran or Iran. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Iran tonight. I know I've probably been saying Iran all night, but I'm gonna go with Iran now. It sound more Arabic. Yeah. Whatever can't say. He said our CIA and James Bond did it. You know it? 007 out this motherfucking nigga. They sent 007 in espionage. Let's go. Da-da-da-da.
Shah, the US-backed dictator, and they had an anti-colonial revolution and created a new government. And the US empire lost one pillar of its so-called twin pillar strategy. And ever since then, the US empire has been desperately trying to overthrow Iran's revolutionary government. This is why the US government ironically supported Saddam Hussein's Iran.
Oh yeah, I want y'all to hear how crazy this is. How some backstabbing, conniving, sick, twisted ass shit the United States be doing. For all y'all that love America, I'm not telling y'all not to love your country and all this woo-woo stuff. Just understand who you're loving. This is how sick they were. Because y'all know they murked this guy right here in that picture right there. They murked that guy in that picture right there. He gonna tell you what the United States did. This is crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this is diabolical.
This is why the US government ironically supported Saddam Hussein's Iraq in the 1980s after Iraq invaded Iran in a war of aggression and tried to overthrow Iran's new revolutionary government. And the CIA supported Saddam Hussein as he used chemical weapons and gassed people in Iran. Because again, the US does not care one bit about democracy or human rights or any of that propagandistic nonsense. This is about imperialism.
This is Expedience Gym Monster 2.
They killing me with these commercials tonight, ain't they? God damn.
And the strategy of the US empire today is very clear. Washington wants to install another puppet in Tehran. And who's the puppet the US is supporting? None other than the so-called crown prince, the fail son of the former US-backed dictator, the Shah. And the former Israeli intelligence officer, Barak Ravid, who rebranded as a journalist after working for Israeli intelligence agencies, he reported that the Trump administration has been secretly meeting with the so-called Iranian exiled crown prince, in scare quotes, and expressing support for him to try to put him in power as a puppet. Let's keep in mind, this guy has never had a real job. His entire life, which, by the way, he spent most of his life living in the United States, working closely with the US government to try to overthrow Iran's government. And now that the US and Israel are waging another war of aggression against Iran, this fake so-called crown prince, Reza Pahlavi, went on Twitter and he called on the people of Iran to overthrow the Iranian government with the support of the US so they can put this puppet in power. He said, quote, "The aid that the president of the United States promised to the brave people of Iran has now arrived. This is a humanitarian intervention," end quote. He said, quote, "The Islamic Republic is collapsing," end quote. And he sent a message to the military, police, and security forces. He said, quote, "Join the people and help bring about a stable and secure transition. Otherwise, you will go down with Khamenei's sinking ship and his regime," end quote. That's a threat. This puppet of the US is saying that they will eliminate any members of the military, police, and security forces who refuse to be puppets and commit treason and work with the U.S. and Israel to overthrow their government.
AKA get down or lay down. You know that black people, we thugs, we said that shit, but pretty much they just said it in a bunch of other different words. You either gonna get down or we gonna lay your ass down. One way or another. Figure it out. And this dude living in another goddamn country, he ain't ran for that country because your dad, like, come on, bro. It's amazing, man. It's amazing how bold people get when they got the backing of the United States, bro. But talking bold, y'all better get down or lay down. Either way, though, let's keep going.
And if you want an idea of what the U.S. would like to do to Iran, look at what the U.S. empire did to Syria. For years, the U.S. government spent billions of dollars arming and training extremists to overthrow the Syrian government. And in late 2024, they succeeded. And who took over Syria? None other than the former leader of Al-Qaeda, after the U.S. media whitewashed.
If y'all don't remember Al-Qaeda, y'all, so come on now. Al-Qaeda was like a terrorist organization. They were so bad, so terrible, y'all. Murderers, demons. Put Al-Qaeda's leader in power. And watch what else they did.
This extremist, who again was literally the leader of Al-Qaeda, and now he's being invited to the White House to meet with Donald Trump.
So we go into these other people's countries. They build militia groups. We call them terrorist organizations. They do horrific things. We attack them. We fight them. We fight them. We fight them. But it's like, oh, we don't like them too, though. All right, man, we'll take your leader. Your leader, he cool. Like, look, we won't murk you, even though we've been trying to murk you. We can't get you, but look, we got it. We can cut a deal real quick. Like, we'll put you in power if y'all overthrow these motherfuckers. Y'all overthrow them for us? Okay, y'all got it. They got it, y'all. They got it. You gonna overthrow, and then we're gonna make you the leader. We're gonna make you the leader, and then we can even. Matter of fact, you can come to the White House. You want to come to America? You ever came to America? You come to America, man. We take some pictures and shit. Teach you to a nice dinner and shit. That's how sick these motherfuckers is, bro. They sick.
This former leader of Al-Qaeda, who declared himself the dictator of Syria, he never was elected. He has no democratic mandate. This is exactly what the U.S. wants to repeat in Iran.
Look at that.
The U.S. empire wants an obedient puppet who will sell his country's natural resources to U.S. corporations for pennies on the dollar, help the U.S. buy up the country, and allow the U.S. and Israel to control the entire region to eliminate all opposition. That's what this is actually about. It's about hegemony, dominance, exploitation, imperialism. It has nothing to do with nuclear weapons or democracy or human rights or any of that propagandistic nonsense. So keep that in mind when you listen to Western corporate media outlets simply regurgitate the lies coming from the White House. And if you want to be informed about what's actually happening, make sure you subscribe to our...
Yeah, subscribe right here. I got the information for you. I got the information. If I ain't got it, I got the people that's got it. But yeah, you're right about that, Hurricane. You said, and then have the leader they put in power assassinated 10 years later. Yep. As soon as they start wising up, and it's like, man, this ain't really a good deal for us, bro. Like, I understand they got me here and stuff, but I don't think it's a good deal for us, man. We losing too much money. Now we gonna stop doing it. Oh, you gonna stop? Oh, going up out of here, bro. We're gonna put somebody else in now. A lot of people wonder why, like, they talk shit about African countries. Africa, they got all these resources, they can't do nothing. Because that happens every day in Africa. By the hands of the US, the Brits, the French, the Italians, whoever you want to talk about, Europeans, white folks. That's the reason why that country can't never get nowhere. That continent can't really get nowhere. But that's why they've been trying to take out, our boy Ibrahim Traore. Shout out to him, man. I ain't know he's even gonna get a mention tonight with this shit. But shout out to him in Burkina Faso, because they ain't really going for that nonsense down there. And they've been trying to take that dude off the map. But at least y'all got a little idea of like what's really going on with this situation. But for the people that want to sit and keep saying that, the United States, they're gonna destroy them. There's no way that we can lose this war to Iran. We're the most powerful nation on the planet, most powerful nation in the world, in the history of the world. Let me explain something to y'all. And I'm explaining to y'all in the video. Because a lot of y'all don't know how the world works. Y'all don't know how war works. And you don't understand how people get down and do things. So, you know, they've been fighting over there, y'all. They've been doing their little pow, 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 shoot, 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 rocket, 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 rocket shit going on for a little bit. Well, we're gonna see what the difference is when it comes to this type of war that we're in. Because this is a war of attrition. It's not gonna be a war that 1 day, 12 days, a week, 2 months, something like that. Nah, bro. Iran ain't going down like that. Just throwing that out there for folks. And I'm not in support of them, but I'm damn sure not in support of the United States with what they doing. But they're not gonna go down like that. And see, Hurricane said, I stand with Ibrahim. Me too. And he said he survived over 20 attempts on his life. They've been on it. They probably still over there trying to murk him right now. Why they got this going on? United States got fingers and hands all over the world, y'all. All over the world. They're touching everything. Those nasty finger ass bitches. Stop touching everything. But either way though, shout out to this next channel, y'all, because we going through it. AI Telly. Interesting name, AI Telly. But either way though, we gonna jump into it. Let's see what they talking about.
Allies in the Middle East, even after being bombarded by hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles and losing most of its air defenses. The answer lies underground. Iran keeps its ballistic missiles hidden deep inside mountain caves, making them incredibly difficult to target.
If you don't know exactly where it is and you ain't got no bunker buster, you're not getting to they stash. Plain and simple. Can't get to their stash. And shout out to my boy Ob, he up in the building. He said touching everything in a museum like a blind man. On some real ass shit. They be touching everything on nasty finger bitches, man.
And we can't forget about their homegrown Fata missiles, which Tehran claims are capable of hypersonic speeds. Iran reportedly managed to penetrate Israel's Iron Dome and Arrow missile defense systems using the Fata-2 missile, which is equipped with a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of reaching speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 20, up to 17,900 kilometers per hour or roughly 10,000 miles per hour. At such extreme speeds, the missile leaves air defense systems like Iron Dome, Arrow, and David's Sling with very little time to detect, track, and engage the threat, making interception efforts exceptionally difficult.
Now, y'all hear he's saying that the rocket that they got over there is just fast. It's really fast. I'm sure that is a lot faster than it's not even that the speed is the problem. They're going to break it down. Like, a lot of people don't understand these type of, like, oh, we got interceptors and all this. I don't understand why people don't understand, like, okay, the United States, they might go up against an opponent that has a weapon that they can't fight. What does the United States do? They call Lockheed Martin or whoever the hell else, hey, we need y'all to design something to counteract this. Right? That's what usually happens, right? Y'all know other countries do that too, right? Well, this is one of their, okay, they got interceptor missiles now. They got these $10 million missiles that can shoot down anything we shoot over there. Okay, we need to come up with something that they can't shoot down like that. Watch out about this Fata-2, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. This shit kind of crazy how they do it.
This is how it works. The Fata-2 missile launches with a solid fuel booster that pushes it to hypersonic speeds, reportedly over Mach 15, as it climbs to high altitudes. Once it reaches the edge of the atmosphere, the booster separates and the glide vehicle, carrying the warhead, begins its independent flight. Re-entry.
And y'all really we do gotta wonder, man, where are these boosters falling at? Like, I be wondering that sometimes, man, because I'm like, we don't live in the Middle East. We don't live in these countries where a lot of wars going on. But I'm like, man, dude, are you just outside at your farm and some shit? And they shot that motherfucker from 10 miles away, 100 miles away, fucking 1,000 miles away. And that motherfucking booster just drops in your fucking yard. Like, where are these bitches falling? I know that's a question that most people won't ask, but where are the boosters falling? Because we know where the fucking warhead is going. We know where it's going. We know what it's targeting. But where is that booster falling? And they ain't all falling in the ocean. I'm just throwing that out there. They ain't falling in the ocean like that.
Entering the atmosphere at extreme speed, the glide vehicle uses its aerodynamic design and a small liquid fuel engine to maneuver unpredictably, typically flying between 12 and 30 kilometers above the ground. As it approaches the target, it drops to a lower altitude and performs sharp evasive maneuvers at speeds above Mach 5. This combination of speed, agility, and a shifting flight path makes it incredibly hard for air defenses to track or intercept.
Say that hoe can
What
jiggle
sets
and
the
wiggle.
Fata-2 apart from conventional ballistic missiles is its ability to maneuver during flight. While traditional missiles follow predictable parabolic trajectories, the Fata-2 breaks from this pattern. It uses aerodynamic control surfaces and a movable nozzle powered by hydrazine fuel to adjust its course while gliding through the atmosphere. This is the reason you see the dragon tail all over Israeli sky. These continuous and unpredictable trajectory changes make the missile extremely difficult to track. Its erratic flight path confuses radar systems and overwhelms targeting algorithms that are designed to handle more conventional, stable trajectories. At the core of its propulsion system is a spherical solid fuel engine with a movable nozzle, which allows for precise steering and controlled acceleration during re-entry. This gives the missile the agility to dodge interception attempts more effectively. The warhead, mounted on a maneuverable re-entry vehicle, can further alter its path in the final phase of flight, complicating interception even more and reducing the chances of a successful defense. Iranian officials have claimed that the Fata-2 also features radar evading capabilities, hinting at possible stealth or low observable technologies. Iran has also asserted that the Fata-2 has already penetrated Israeli air defenses and struck high-value targets, including military intelligence facilities and the Israeli Air Defense Headquarters in Tel Aviv.
Well, we already seen that actually happen. We know that to be true right there. But it's kind of crazy they developed a weapon that can actually maneuver while it's actually after it's already left the booster. That's pretty smart for them. And shout out to Uncanny. I see him up in here. He's still on this. And the sad part, Uncanny, this part is actually for you. Because he said, you missed the earlier part that I had for you. He said, Iran's still going to lose. They just gonna. Did Iraq lose? Did Afghanistan lose? And if you would have been here a little bit earlier, you would have got to see the numbers, the different sizes of the countries. They're fighting a country that's 2 times the size of both of them. And they lost to both of them. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out with this. But if you think they're gonna lose, I don't think they will. I think it's just gonna be like, hey man, we just gonna chalk this up and come back to America. I think that's what's gonna happen.
3 signs your car accident is worth major compensation. If you've been in a car accident,
don't get into no accident.
For context, the earlier Fata-1 missile is a 2-stage solid propellant weapon equipped with a maneuverable re-entry vehicle capable of mid-course adjustments and independent flight. Its warhead includes thrust vector control, allowing it to execute evasive maneuvers during both the mid-course and terminal phases of flight, sometimes as close as 100 kilometers from the target. One of Israel's major disadvantages is its small size. In terms of land area, Israel is roughly 75 times smaller than Iran, making Iran roughly about 7,400% larger. This stark contrast highlights just how compact Israel is by comparison. Because of its limited size, virtually any missile launched toward Israel can reach its target within minutes. This drastically reduces the time available for detection, warning, or evacuation. Geographically, Israel stretches about 470 kilometers. This is around 290 miles from north to south. But at its narrowest point, it's only around 15 kilometers, which is 9 miles wide, with a maximum width of about 135 kilometers. This is around 84 miles. Because of Iran's larger size, it can hide its stockpiles of missiles all over the place, and this makes it harder for Israel to destroy every missile storage. This is one of the main reasons they managed to hit most of the Middle East neighboring countries as a retaliatory strike. 4. A massive wave of missiles and drones just targeted U.S. bases in Israel. Here's the fallout. The UAE's Al Dhafar air base was hit, leaving one dead from shrapnel. In Bahrain, the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet HQ was directly targeted. Qatar's air defenses successfully wiped out incoming missiles, while Kuwait locked down its entire airspace under heavy fire. Meanwhile, nationwide sirens are blasting across Israel, with massive mid-air interceptions lighting up the skies over Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. But from an American perspective, we have to ask ourselves, even if every single Iranian ship is wiped out, what kind of damage could they still inflict on our fleet? Well, Iran's strategy isn't to face the U.S. head-on. It is to rely on asymmetric warfare. Take this for example.
This is what a lot of people in America need to understand about how wars are fought, because they think it's just head-to-head, straight up, y'all duke it out, shoot y'all shits off, shoot y'all guns, whatever the hell, whoever standing last wins. And with the United States having more, they should be able to win. Y'all didn't watch Braveheart. Jungle warfare is a thing, and we not really designed to fight this type of way.
These 2 civilian ships are sailing near an aircraft carrier. Everything looks completely normal. But then, with the press of a button, a shipping container doors opens up and out comes a missile. These are the self-made Iranian anti-ship missiles, which can still pack a punch. This is instantly followed by a swarm of low-flying drones and fast attack boats from within the cargo ships, and not to forget the small midget submarines. These submarines can launch torpedoes at the same time. In quick succession, it can pass through the carrier's strike group defense system and even achieve 10% impact. They might not sink the carrier, but they can damage it enough to make the waters too dangerous for the US to operate in. So let's look at the 4 key tactics they would likely use. Tactic 1.
You're gonna break this down, man. Like how they would try to fight this is I'm like, dude, when you know you fighting somebody that's superior, man. Let here go. Let's say you a small dude that really ain't got no hands or whatever, and this dude fucking with you and shit, and he about to try to put hands on you. You know he bigger than you. He probably gonna whoop your ass, man. You might pick up a bottle, pick up a bottle and bust that bitch upside their motherfucking head. You might pick up a stick, smack that motherfucker in the mouth. You're gonna do something. You're not just gonna sit there and fight on the same terms that the person that's trying to attack you is gonna fight on. You're gonna figure out some way to give yourself an advantage. And that's why people don't understand. I don't get why people think warfare is just like head to head. Like you shoot missiles, we shoot missiles, y'all shooting guns, we shooting guns. We all gonna do it the same way. This ain't that old British shit where they used to march in line, which is the dumbest shit ever. Like these folks are real stupid. We're gonna march in line. We're gonna see these people packing their muskets. We're gonna see aim. And everybody just gonna stand there in the line, just get shot. Ain't nobody doing that. They're not gonna fight like that, dude. They're gonna show you. And these are some of the tactics that they possibly could use. And this is just what they came up with, because I could think of some other ones. But let's see what he got real quick.
First and perhaps most famous is the swarm. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy operates hundreds of small, fast attack craft armed with heavy machine guns, rockets, and anti-ship missiles. The tactic here is simple, but deadly. Instead of trying to fight a U.S. destroyer one-on-one, which they would lose, they deploy dozens of small boats simultaneously from every direction. The goal is to overwhelm the U.S. ship's defensive systems, like the phalanx, by presenting more targets than the ship can track and destroy at once. Moving to Tactic 2, mining the Strait. Next, we have the silent killer, mining the Strait of Hormuz. This is the world's most critical oil choke point. Iran maintains an inventory of thousands of naval mines, including smart mines that can listen for the specific acoustic signatures of enemy ships. In a conflict, Iran could use submarines, small boats, or even disguised civilian vessels to drop mines right into the shipping lanes. The goal here isn't just military, it's economic. This would deny the U.S. Navy safe passage and immediately spike global oil prices, inflicting massive economic pain on the U.S. and its allies.
Which is actually, we're in the process of that happening right now, because they pretty much said that they're not letting anybody come through there unless they're Russia or China. They are the biggest power when it comes to that strait right there. And y'all heard what he said. It's the biggest when it comes to oil. We talk about the one we got down there in this one, they bring in more because more oil comes from that region of the world. And they're the big power right there. They can control that. They're right there on the coast of it. They can block that bitch the fuck off if they want to. A lot of people don't understand what the hell is really going on, bro.
If you're looking to upgrade your digital defense system, you need to check out this military-grade VPN. Do is empty inappropriate malware prescription by buying.
If you see this on your bathroom tile in your shower, you've got black mold.
Third is the geographic advantage. Coastal missile batteries. The Iranian coastline is the kill zone. Third is the geographic advantage. Coastal missile batteries. The Iranian coastline is mountainous and rugged, perfect cover for mobile missile launchers. The regime also employs shoot and scoot tactics using truck-mounted cruise and ballistic missiles. They fire a missile and immediately move to a new hiding spot before the U.S. can strike back. This effectively turns the Gulf into a kill zone, where U.S. ships are under constant threat of fire from land with nowhere to hide. Tactic 4. We have the ambush threat, midget submarines. The Persian Gulf is actually quite shallow, which makes it difficult for massive U.S. nuclear submarines to operate. However, it is perfect for Iran's fleet of diesel-electric mini-subs, like the Ghadar class. These small subs can sit silently on the seafloor, waiting for a target to pass overhead before firing torpedoes. It's a surprise ambush tactic designed to damage high-value assets, like carriers or destroyers, while remaining almost impossible to detect by sonar. These small but stealthy diesel-electric submarines designed for operations in the shallow waters of the Persian Gulf pose a significant threat to U.S. aircraft carriers. The Ghadar-class submarines, which are difficult to detect due to their small size and low acoustic signature, could position themselves in strategic locations near key naval choke points, such as the Strait of Hormuz. Equipped with heavyweight torpedoes and capable of deploying naval mines, these submarines could launch surprise attacks on U.S. aircraft carriers. By waiting in ambush near expected carrier movements, Ghadar-class submarines could fire a coordinated torpedo strike, targeting the hull and propulsion systems of U.S. carriers. A successful torpedo strike on an aircraft carrier could disable its flight deck operations, significantly reducing the U.S. Navy's ability to project air power in the region. Additionally, these submarines could lay underwater mines in critical sea lanes, forcing U.S. warships into predetermined ambush zones where Iranian missile and drone attacks could follow up. Tactic 5. You can't ignore the aerial threat. This is drone warfare. Iran has invested heavily in becoming a drone superpower in the Middle East. In a conflict, they would use UAVs not just for surveillance, but as loitering munitions, essentially suicide drones. The tactic is to launch them in massive waves to crash into the sensitive radar dishes and flight decks of U.S. ships. The goal is to blind the fleet's sensors and halt flight operations, leaving the ships vulnerable to missile attacks. Let's look at Tactic 6. The U.S. fleet relies on ports in Bahrain and air cover from bases in Qatar to sustain the fight. Iran possesses the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East. Their strategy includes massive missile barrages targeting these static headquarters and logistical hubs. The goal isn't just to destroy buildings, but to deny the U.S. Navy the fuel, ammo, and command support it needs to stay in the fight. If the ships have nowhere to dock, they can't stay in the Gulf. Iran's military strategy for targeting U.S. air bases in the Middle East would likely rely on a coordinated, multi-domain approach. By combining its missile arsenal, drone capabilities, and proxy forces, Iran aims to overwhelm American defenses and inflict significant damage. Among the high-value targets, Iran would likely prioritize our Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, naval support activity, and
they already hit that one, y'all, just so y'all know.
Bahrain, multiple U.S. military bases in Iraq, and Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. This approach reflects Tehran's broader strategic objectives, deterring U.S. military intervention, retaliating decisively in the event of conflict, and asserting its influence across the region. One of the most probable targets in a direct confrontation is Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. As the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East, it hosts around 8,000 American troops and serves as the regional headquarters for U.S. Central Command. The base plays a crucial role in supporting air operations across the region and is a central pillar of the U.S. military presence in the Gulf. To strike Al Udeid and similar bases, Iran could deploy ballistic missiles such as the Fateh-110, which has a range of about 300 kilometers, or the Qunan-1, capable of reaching up to 800 kilometers. If it uses a proximity fuse, it may detonate just above the surface, airburst, to maximize fragmentation and increase the affected area. Complete destruction of unarmored structures and lethal to unprotected personnel. Extreme overpressure, possibly 100 to 300 psi in this zone, will destroy hardened aircraft shelters, fuel tanks, and command posts if directly hit. Depending on where these missiles are launched from, they pose a credible threat to key U.S. installations across the Gulf. In Bahrain, the Naval Support Activity (NASAD) base serves as the headquarters of the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command and the U.S. Fifth Fleet. With more than 9,000 American personnel stationed there, it is the only permanent U.S. naval shore base in the Middle East. Its port facilities are capable of accommodating aircraft carriers and amphibious ships, making it a vital maritime hub. Given NSA Bahrain's role, Iran may also target...
Y'all remember all this touching we were talking about? They got bases in all these Middle Eastern countries, y'all. Just touching everybody else's shit. Get the fuck back to America. Like, dude, I remember when I was deployed to Japan. All them bases we got over there, bro. It's crazy.
Target U.S. warships in port or operating in nearby waters. It possesses a highly developed arsenal of anti-ship cruise missiles launched from coastal batteries or naval platforms, which can threaten U.S. naval superiority in the Persian Gulf. Iran may also exploit proxy forces including Yemen and pro-Iranian militias in Iraq to launch indirect attacks or stir instability within Bahrain itself.
Should these glasses be illegal in the U.S.?
Damn.
Nobody believed me at first,
them
but
bitch
now
don't break.
everybody wants a pair.
Oh, man,
My
them
friends
hoes don't
roasted
break.
me for...
In Kuwait, the U.S. maintains a strong presence at Camp Arifshan and Ali Al Salem Air Base, which together host around 13,500 troops as of 2021. These facilities act as key operational and logistical hubs, particularly for U.S. missions in Iraq and the broader Gulf region. They also use this Soviet-era anti-ship missiles with solid booster and liquid fuel attached to it, produced during the Cold War, is employed for the attacking mission. When launched, the first stage booster fires off for 2 to 3 seconds, after which the second stage takes off. It searches for a target using analog radar. When locked and ready, it can destroy a ship using a hollow-shaped charge warhead. This has the potential to either destroy or sink a cargo ship if it hits at the right angle. Scenario 2. This involves the use of a Soviet-era missile that was re-engineered by the Iranians, converting it into an anti-ship missile. The converted SA-2 missile can be launched from within 45 kilometers or 28 miles from the target. Take, for example, the U.S. destroyers sailing through the Red Sea. When fired, these anti-ship missiles can travel at a speed of Mach 3.5. These actions create a psychological impact and disrupt trade routes. Speaking of Iraq, several U.S. military bases are located relatively close to Iran's western border. Their proximity places them well within range of Iranian missile strikes, adding to the strategic and tactical complexity of the region's security landscape. Iran's missile forces are dispersed across hardened underground bases and mobile launchers, which enhance their survivability and make rapid, surprise strikes more feasible. These launch platforms are designed to withstand preemptive attacks and deliver quick retaliatory blows. In terms of targeting, Iran would likely aim to paralyze air operations by striking runways, fuel storage facilities, aircraft shelters,
I've got to be next on their list, y'all, because the United States and Israel right now, they control the sky. Like when it comes down to like fighter jets and shit like that, they control the sky. Iran has shot down a few of them. Iran, my bad, has shot down a few of them, but they pretty much is knocking their heads on that. They not gonna win a war in the air.
Command centers and logistics nodes. The objective would be to degrade U.S. combat capability quickly and limit its ability to respond effectively. We make original videos.
Yeah, I don't see that one right there happening for them. I don't think that's gonna be a possibility for them, just for the simple fact that the United States they jumped on it, man. They had a little second to actually start planning this shit out. Even though the United States didn't do a good planning job of doing a sneak attack, but they still did do a sneak attack. It's gonna be a war of attrition, y'all. And I don't understand why a lot of Americans aren't pissed off that, this is supposed to, like, if we go to war with somebody, y'all, it's supposed to be through Congress, man. We all supposed to vote. Well, they supposed to vote on it and then give the president approval to goddamn go to war. This man just preemptively just striking folks. But I told y'all, and a lot of people did not think this was a problem. And that's why I'm hoping with whoever the next president is, they take advantage of this power that they're going to have and actually do something good for the American people. But I don't got my hopes up because ain't none of them ever really truly did nothing completely across the board. I think Obama was the closest to being like straight. But a president can't be prosecuted for any action that he does while he's in the White House. The Supreme Court ruled on that in favor of Donald Trump. So unlike every other president that comes after is not going to have to worry about anything happening to him after he gets out of office, as long as what he did was while he was in office. They might be digging to try to find something else outside of that. But like this illegal shit that Trump's doing right now, they can't prosecute him for it because nothing that he does is illegal now. Interesting how that shit works, ain't it? But it's crazy. We about to talk to a professor though. He was actually breaking down. He prophesied this shit a while back, and he was talking to Breaking Point. I ain't been covering Breaking Point in a while, but I do want to cover one of their videos because he was breaking down a lot of this situation when it pertains to Iran, or whatever the hell. And a lot of people ain't been keeping up with what's going on. I ain't gonna lie, I just got back in town. And I've been behind the 8 ball, y'all. I've been behind the 8 ball with all this stuff going on because I should be doing daily live streams on these things because this is worth something to speak about. But I'm gonna let y'all check them out, man. Shout out to Breaking Point. Hope y'all ain't on that whole shit with that copyright shit. But either way, I don't really care. Let's go.
All right, guys, we've got yet another heavy hitter guest and first-time guest on the show. Professor Zhang, he is the star of the popular YouTube channel Predictive History. He uses game theory to analyze past, current, and to predict future geopolitical events. And he joins us now. Professor, great to have you.
Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. So, for people who aren't familiar with your work, I wanted to show folks that back in 2024, you made 3 big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war. Let's take a listen to that.
In this class this semester, I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
So obviously,
now, look, I'm actually backing the professor. He made a good point of why he believes that last one, but I know I got people like Uncanny say they're gonna lose it and shit like that. But let's see if he gives a good reasoning for why he predicted what he predicted. And then y'all formulate your own opinion.
Obviously, that last one is the only one that has not yet come to fruition. Is quite a stunning prediction. Do you stand by it, and what have you seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So, given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. In their eschatology, in their religion, this is a war against the great Satan. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war when the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both the Israelis and the Americans. And they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack. They, through their proxies, the Houthis.
Now, y'all really think about it. The United States and Israel done attacked these people twice within 8 months. But they're the aggressors. Remember that, y'all. They're the threat. Even though we done attacked them twice in 8 months. Probably less than 8 months. He probably being generous with the 8 months. But they're the problem. And ain't we located all the way the fuck over here on the other side of the world? Amazing. Yeah, they the threat.
Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias have been able to really grasp the American mentality. And now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are striking the GCC countries. And not only are they striking GCC countries, American bases, they're going after the critical energy infrastructure of these bases. They blocked off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plants provides 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wiped out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it's a city.
And I got to do a correction for the professor. Because y'all kind of got to see a glimpse of the drones that they were talking about, the ones that kind of look like a paper airplane and shit. They don't cost $50K. They cost $20K. They cost $20K. I had to do some extra research after hearing him talk about them and started looking at their weapon systems. That's how we got to see the fighter shit, fighter 2. But yeah, they cost $20K. And the United States and Israel are shooting off interceptors that cost $10+ million. So you going 10 million to 20K. Somebody's gonna run out of money first.
You have 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And right now, the Iranians have de facto closed off the Strait of Hormuz, and the GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz. So I know a lot of people are talking about the disruptions to the global economy, but right now, the Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now, we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of that comes from the Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme.
Right.
So that's a dire situation that the Americans are facing.
And y'all heard what he said. The American economy is pretty much a financial Ponzi scheme. The winners and the losers are already predetermined when it comes to this economy. So a lot of y'all that be feeling down that y'all ain't balling like some other people are balling and shit. Man, look, some of this shit might be outside of your control. Now, if you're just a fuck up and you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing out here, at the bare minimum, yeah, that's on you. But it's kind of set up where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The middle class will be erased, and time to get in what you're getting right now. And the sad part, y'all might actually want to root for them to actually fuck up the AI bubble, like make that bitch burst, because a lot of y'all jobs are about to be taken by AI. A lot of people that work in call centers, we already see self-checkouts. We see self-ordering type shit at grocery stores and shit. Not grocery stores, but like Walmart. Actually, yeah, you got self-checkout at Walmart, but then you got self-ordering at like McDonald's and all these Taco Bell and all them. Like, dude, a lot of this AI technology shit is gonna take away your job. So a lot of y'all might want that bubble to burst. Just throwing it out there if you work in those type of fields. But yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme, bro. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's predetermined.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally...
Better get some money like you're a millionaire and goddamn develop an app. I don't know where you're going to get $1 million from.
Hit in the UAE. And now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also wanted to...
And before we go any further, man, we got the famous, the Hispanic, Uncanny in the building. Yeah, what's up, Uncanny, man? What's the word, Thunderbird?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you, though.
It's because I'm in the car.
All right, man. What's up, man? Tell the people, hey, before you even say what you need to say.
Hello, world.
World said, hey, back. But now, where he go? Give me your thoughts real quick, like before I go back to Officer Yang, well, Professor Yang, because, you know, he breaking shit down. Give me your thoughts.
Nah, just 2 minutes. You know they gonna lose. I don't know why you're trying to vacate for the Iran or whatever. They're gonna get their ass whooped.
I truly don't believe that. Like, in all honesty, I truly don't believe that.
Bro, I heard what they did to Iraq. It had like 30 million people. Or no, Venezuela had 30 million people living in the country. I'm like, okay, that's Venezuela. But in Iran has like 90 million or whatever. I mean, come on, Jay, keep it a buck. America's gonna go in there and annihilate their ass.
The only way I think the United States could actually do that is if they dropped a nuke on them. But I know that's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna be a nuke, but they're gonna drop bombs on their ass.
No, they've been trying. They've been shooting them up. Now I ain't gonna hold you. Like missile launches, they've been shooting some missiles over there. They've been hitting some targets. They killed. I think they deleted like yeah, 100 and something little girls and stuff in the school. Yeah, so they've
Okay,
been
you
shooting
see,
off stuff.
stuff like that is the reason why I don't like war, because of the casualties of war. But
Oh, that wasn't in the casualty. That was a calculated strike. They did that on day one. The first day that we heard about them striking Iran, they did that. They did that day one.
no, I see now why YouTube. I see now why YouTube. I see why they be taking your. I see now why they hate you, Jay. You can't repeat shit like that out loud. You cannot say that America is out here orchestrating a genocide of little girls, and that was their first strike.
They ain't got no problem with that. That was one of their first strikes. On day one, that was one of their first strikes. They knocked that school off and tried to play it off like they didn't do it. Now they say they're investigating it. And I'm like, dude, y'all know why would Iran strike their own shit? Like they not the United States. We don't do stuff like 9/11 and stuff over there. I'm like,
you cannot say that on YouTube either, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking.
You cannot. Allegedly, remember the word is allegedly. That America.
That word right there, y'all. That part right there.
Listen, there is a chance, because you are right. We have not won a war since World War II. But did the Allies really win? If you really look at it, Great Britain, France, Germany, everybody that got fucked up besides Russia and the United States really advanced. Got it, they. What's the word I'm looking?
They backtrack. Yeah, they backtrack. They're like the European countries. They took an ill with being a part of that war. The United States and Russia were the only two that really bounced back out of that in a positive way to a certain extent. Even though like the European countries ain't doing too bad, but they are not nowhere near the power they had before.
That's what I'm saying. So like the United States and Russia were the only two to go out, I guess, unscathed because. Well, the United States was this part of the world, and nobody ever bombed us during that war. And Russia, well,
we had the kamikaze attack. We had that, but not no bombs.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, as far as, I guess you would say, deconstruction of buildings of. The whole Europe had to rebuild.
Pretty much. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, this is about to happen to Iran. They're about to be bombed like crazy, and they're gonna have to rebuild. So we might not win the war, but Iran's gonna feel it.
Oh yeah, they definitely look. That's one thing I won't take away from that. They're definitely they're going up against a more powerful nation, and then on top of that, they have another nation that's been backed by that more powerful nation attacking them also. And then Saudis are letting them use their air bases and stuff to fly out. We don't know if they're going to actually start trying to fight with it because their economy is about to get fucked. Because if the oil gets messed up, they ain't gonna have no money to be investing in Silicon Valley like he's speaking of with all this AI stuff going on. So that's gonna mess up with their profits because their whole economy is based off of oil. That's why they've been trying to transition into AI. If that oil sale go down, they ain't gonna have no money. So that AI stuff might burst. Like it's gonna be a trickle down effect. A lot of people got to look at all the different things that's gonna transpire with this going on. That's what I'm saying. Iran actually has an advantage over the United States because the United States can't keep spending. Dude, we're spending over $2 trillion a day.
Yeah.
Not 2 trillion. I'm sorry, y'all. Recap that. Not 2 trillion. $2 billion. $2 billion a day fighting this right now. And that's a low estimate of 2 billion.
I was gonna say, like, where's this money?
Look, I'm wondering where the money is. I'm wondering where the money coming from because we got a lot of issues that are going on in America. The economy's messed up. The United States as a country can influx the economy and put some money in Americans' pockets so we can get industry going. They would rather go, We want to deport workers. We want to steal presidents. We want to put terrorists to make the economy get fucked up. We want to attack Iran. We want to hide Epstein files. I'm just saying, I don't know what the objective of all this is, but and then Cuba, y'all better know we on the way. Let Cuba know. In Greenland, in Canada, we coming for y'all too afterwards. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what the play is right now.
Yeah. So you're saying that the president of 2 years has 2 more years to attack these other countries that you speak of. These 3 countries, allegedly. These 3 countries.
Well, look, I'm just going. Look, I ain't saying it. I'm just going off the words that I heard come out of his mouth.
Oh, okay. And those files. Don't talk about it, man.
Yeah, we ain't gonna never see those. We ain't gonna never see those.
Because if it's true about what some people said they read, there are.
I believe it is. I believe it is.
There are a lot of sick people in this country that are powerful. I guess you would say people of power.
White men. That's what I would say. White men. White men don't want their secrets to come out because they like to touch kids.
Just that? It's more than that.
I know. I'm just saying. Though, I'm just going for the people at the top because the people that are actually having the ability to keep this hidden, the people that actually have the ability to get to that island, those are the people who run this bitch, and they ain't got time for that right now. But
they were saying rituals and cannibalistic things happen.
They're drinking the blood of babies.
Yeah, I heard eating too, and I heard also sacrificing people. I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get.
Look, that's a one-on-one type conversation right there. We can definitely shoot conspiracies back off because honestly, at the end of the day, we don't know none of this shit, y'all. We just know what the hell other people have said that are closer to the situation than we are.
But they did say that our president's name was in the files more than Harry Potter.
Man, they said his name was in there. His name was in there more than Jesus' name was mentioned in the Bible. Matter of fact, no, they said God. Name in them files more than I think them files in this minute. Well, actually, ain't gonna lie, it is a lot of pages of documents, so it's probably more pages in the Bible. But damn, you mentioned more than God was mentioned in the Bible. Yeah, you might have did something, buddy. Just throwing that out there.
You know, it's the crazy part, and I always tell people, I go, you don't think that Donald? I'm sorry, I don't want to say his name. You don't think that he's not doing the same thing as Epstein? Do you know where he goes golfing? He goes golfing in West Palm Beach. Do you know where Epstein used? There was a documentary that came out of victims from that city.
Yes, there's a lot of girls went missing, huh?
No, a lot of girls came out and spoke on Epstein massages. Like he.
Oh, I wouldn't deny none of that, man. Look, we look. We already, we know.
Yeah.
You know. Some 6 tons of bitches. I tell them the best thing for them is literally just I got a one thing solution, a one bullet. That's what I think a lot of them folks deserve.
Well, the guy missed. So
yeah, I know that's the problem.
Damn, man.
But either way, though, what else you got before I get back into this? You know, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even care about it. Well, I do.
No, you can get back to it. Just how did this guy miss, but the other one who when they deleted the other one that they sucked his balls off, the other dude, he didn't miss. And I don't want to say that in a mean way, but
distance and win, and then ability to be able to shoot. A lot of people can't shoot. A lot of folks think they can get a gun, just go out there and pow. I'm a motherfucking expert. Like the dude that shot at the other motherfucker, the one you talking about, the orange guy, he shot from a distance, and it was wind out there, man. You got to take into account for that. And then we don't know his skill level. The other motherfucker that popped off, that guy. He's pretty close to him. Yeah, he's pretty close to that guy. He wasn't nothing but that shit, less than a goddamn football field away from him. That ain't a hard shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, man.
He almost missed too, man. Look, I don't think motherfucker intentionally said I'm going for the neck. Like, I just being honest with you. That motherfucker was off on the shot.
I mean, hey, but
still was efficient though. I give him that.
back to the Iran thing.
Iran.
Iran. What did I say? Iran? I don't know.
Like, I had to question myself.
I know they're tough sons of bitches, but didn't Trump. I finally said his fucking name. Sorry. Didn't he drop a drone bomb on one of his generals and they didn't do nothing about it?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard about that, but hey, look, it might possibly have happened. I'm not sure.
Didn't that happen back in 2017, 2018, like his first presidency? You know what? This is where I feel like this is what do you call it? A Mandela effect. Because I mentioned that before, and I was like, didn't he like drone bomb one of their generals and didn't do nothing about it? And people were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, there might be a Mandela effect.
Right, we might have to Google it, but yeah, a lot of people don't even know what the Mandela effect is, but it could possibly be. I don't know. I don't remember hearing about that, but
so I live in
a
different time.
It might be, bro. We don't know what the fuck going on.
Okay, anyways, I'm gonna let you get back to your show. I just wanted to come up and let you know that they're going.
All right, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, man. We're doing Omegle tomorrow.
Oh my God! Hey, first of all, let's with the. I know you like talking to racists, and I don't know why, but when you were talking to that one racist dude, I think it went on a little too long.
Yeah, I'm gonna put people on a time limit, maybe probably about 15, 20 minutes, and then move on.
Yeah, I think the funnest ones were the ones where like.
Oh, you actually watched that show?
Yeah, I watched it. I was in the live chat.
I was contemplating doing it again tonight, but after this show, but we'll see how I'm feeling after I get done with this one.
I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm just glad that nobody
whip their dick out or something?
Yeah, man. I'm just glad about that.
Oh, yeah, man. That's why I got to do it on certain nights, man. I had to figure that out, man, because, you get a lot of them dudes from India, Pakistan, man. They just be on there just in the back like this. I'll be like, what the hell is going on? You got your camera set up and everything for this, huh? Ain't getting no pussy around now. And it's crazy because India got a big population.
I don't know how you don't get no pussy over there. That's crazy.
Exactly, man. I guess it's the same guy getting all the kind of like in America, same dudes get the bitches, and then they pregnate all of them, and they be having big families too, though. Like 7, 8 kids type shit.
Yeah, they do. I be watching Indian movies, Bollywood movies, and stuff like that. But anyways,
how you do
that. Cause I don't know. I be watching international movies, and it be all kind of movies. Like Bollywood, I watch movies from like.
We don't care about none of that shit on Kenny.
Korea. Yeah, no, I mean, come on, man. If we're gonna talk, anyways. Iran, whatever. They're gonna fucking lose. A lot of their money, I guess you would say that. But
they got oil money, man. They got oil. They good.
That oil is gonna be taken away from them soon. I'm telling you, this ain't gonna happen.
Hey, go ahead, check this, y'all. Check it. Let's see in the next 2 years. Let's see who's right, on me or on Kenny. Let's see if the United States can win this one. I could be too. Look, I could be too. I might be miscalculating something, but that's why I got the Chinese professor on here to break down his point of view on it. But
breaking it down really nice too. I'm beginning to see your point, but I'm also telling you this is America.
I feel you on that.
This is the most ruthless sons of bitches ever in life.
Yeah. Probably, I will probably give it. They probably done took out more people in the world, in the history of the world, than anybody else. I would give you that.
Yes, man.
I used to rock with them boys, man. I used to rock with them. They used to be my boys.
I know.
They used to be my boys.
Hoorah.
Yeah, I don't fuck with them bitches no more.
But you got to understand that, and once 3 words. This is America. That's it. I'll leave it to it though.
All right, man. Appreciate you popping up. Fucking look, y'all. We about to jump back into this bitch. See what the professor got for us, man. I'm actually full screening for a second.
Talk to you about munitions. We can put this next one up here on the screen. The United States is racing to accomplish Iran mission before munitions run out. This is specifically around interceptor math. There's a famous video just from yesterday in Israel, which shows a single Iranian ballistic missile, which is being targeted by some 11 different interceptors, all of which miss. Most of those come from the United States, not to mention all of the different bases, the GCC countries that you just talked about, and the asymmetry of the cost. It's $1 million for a missile, tens of millions per interceptor in some of these cases. With these munitions running out, how does that change the global picture? So you're in China, obviously, much of the stocks in Asia of the United States are likely to have to be cannibalized if this were to go on. How's that going to affect the global picture here?
Right. So my first point is that the United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to being after World War II, and it was designed to fight the Cold War. And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, about who was able to send people up into space, who was the first to get the person on the moon, who had the more complex missile systems. And so the entire American military strategy revolves around very sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build. And that's what the American air defense system is basically. And that's why we're seeing this asymmetry, as you point out, in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles trying to take out these $50,000 drones. And it's not sustainable in the long term. And so what we're seeing...
AKA a war of attrition. You have to spend $10 million plus to shoot down. Once again, correction, not $50,000, $20,000 attacks. You're gonna run out eventually. The question is, who's gonna run out first? Iran has stockpiled the fuck out of these drones, y'all. They've been stockpiling the fuck out of them. And the United States is really just starting to get into the drone warfare. We've seen how effective it can be with the war that's going on with Ukraine and Russia. A lot of these countries are going towards drones, less get the word they use. Less where you got to put people in harm's way. You want to go to this technology. Iran has a cheaper way of actually fighting from their position, and they can fucking send out thousands of these hoes, man. They got a shit ton of them. Bought them from China. And you know, China pop them hoes out quick, especially when all you're doing is flying them to blow them up. It's going to be a question, do the United States want to keep spending tens of millions of dollars to shoot down one of them? Because they got a whole bunch more. You got to spend $10 million. And let's say at the bare minimum, you got to spend $10 million to shoot yours off. We spending $20,000 to shoot ours off. Even if we ain't got the same amount of money y'all got, we got a lot of these hoes. We got a lot of these goals. Like we can shoot a lot of these off. So honestly, if you run out of your money before we run out of our money. And my boy out said Iran playing with them. They are. They know they straight. Like, look, their economy already been fucked up. They citizens already went through shit. People talk about it's a dictatorship and all that voodoo stuff. You think the people in power give a fuck about their citizens suffering? Nah, bro. They citizens were suffering before. And now they got an excuse for why their citizens gonna suffer some more. They gonna keep going, bro. They gonna keep going. They not finna lay down, bro. They're not finna lay down. And I want people to understand that. And if they not gonna lay down, you got to take all of them out. And you also got to harm the citizens. So they gonna turn on y'all too. So it's like, who can go the longest? We gonna see.
Is really the puncturing of the aura of invincibility and inevitability that sustained American hegemony for the past 20 years, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union. And this is really a reordering of not just the global economy, because this signals the collapse of the petrodollar, and with it, the entire US dollar-based reserve currency system, but also the global hegemony of the United States. We're moving towards a multipolar world.
Professor, this morning, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was asked a question about potential ground troops in Iran. He refused to rule out that possibility. And he said, oh, well, we're not going to project to you what we will or will not do, but we don't want to, rule anything out. We will do what it takes. Do you think that America will end up invading Iran from the ground, since it's already becoming relatively clear they won't be able to accomplish the goal of regime change or even regime collapse using just air power alone?
Right. So everyone says that the worst calamity that could happen in the United States is if it were to send ground troops into Iran. At the same time, the United States are committed to regime change in Iran. We've never had a precedent in history where you were able to regime change from the air alone. You need
that part right there. If the ultimate goal is to get the people up out of there, which they've been talking a whole lot of regime change, but we was questioning that earlier. What was the purpose? The United States has never been successful at doing that unless they put troops on the ground. And Trump is claiming it's a war, but then also having his little cronies underneath him say it's not a war because we don't have troops on the ground. Well, to put troops on the ground, you need congressional approval. So we got a little conundrum right here now, y'all. We got a little conundrum. Are we going to get ground troops? We'll see.
Ground troops. And so unfortunately, what's going to happen over the next few months is that pressure will build on America to send ground troops, especially from the GCC countries and from Israel, which are being pounded right now by the Iranians. So remember that if the GCC countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, if they go, then the petrodollar goes with them. So the Americans need to protect these countries, and these countries are going to demand that either the Americans bribe the Iranians to cease, and this is like $5 trillion in indemnity, okay? Or send ground troops to wipe out the Iranian threat once and for all. And I know that there's no political will for ground troops to be used against Iran among the American people. But remember that 78% of American people was against initial strikes against Iran in the first place.
Right. And one of the things that really comes into question, I think, with all of this, sir, when we're looking at the geopolitical picture and the sacrificing in much of this from the United States on behalf of Israel, is kind of a question as to who and what wanted this. We were actually curious for your view on a disputed report here from the Washington Post. We can put it up here on the screen, F3. A push from the Saudis, Israel helped move Trump to attack Iran. Now, this has been internally disputed by Saudi Arabia, saying that they did not push the Trump administration to attack Iran. However, this is clearly an authorized leak from our own government, trying to at least lay some of the blame on behalf of the GCC.
We're trying to snitch on other countries that you helping, bro. Don't be snitching on Saudi Arabia and shit, bro. Don't be snitching on Israel, bro. Y'all did that because y'all wanted to do that, bro. They ain't that staying 10 toes on it. But nah, they all was in it together. But this is about to get to the point, Hurricane, of, the theories. The theories about to come out about this grand scheme thing of why they've been constantly trying to wage war in the Middle East. You about to get into it right now.
See, what do you make of this analysis and of this narrative that Saudi Arabia was also trying to be behind this push to bomb Iran?
So I've always argued that both Saudi Arabia and Israel are heavily invested in regime change in Iran. In fact, Saudi Arabia sees Iran as much more of an existential crisis than Israel. Because remember, Israel still has nuclear weapons, and Israel is a very diverse, very sophisticated economy, whereas Saudi Arabia is completely reliant on oil. And it's always had problems with Iran because Iran is a theocracy opposed to the Saudi monarchy. Iran funds and equips the Houthis, which have been antagonistic towards Saudi Arabia for the longest time. And right now, the Saudi economy is suffering. It's been trying to pivot towards more of a tourist economy. That's why they brought in Ronaldo. That's why they're switching to e-gaming. That's why they're building something called a line, NEOM. And all these things are not working out. So they need to be able to control the oil resources of the entire Middle East if they are to survive and thrive as a nation. So I do believe that this reporting is credible, even though it does make Saudi Arabia look bad. But remember, Saudi Arabia says that they wanted peace, but they are helping the Israelis and the Americans attack Iran right now because they're allowing the Israelis and Americans to use Saudi airspace.
So help us understand, because it still feels to me like there's some pieces that don't totally add up. You had, in advance of this war on Iran, you had top military brass up to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying, this is a really bad idea. We are not ready for this. All the math on the interceptors that's been talked about for months at this point. And yet Trump still decided to go ahead. What is the calculus that he was making?
He ain't got no goddamn calculus. The man's stupid. He saw how easy it was for him to go and take Maduro out of Venezuela, so he big headed now. He got that Icarus effect going on. He about to fly too close to the sun, and we're the ones who are gonna have to pay for this shit, y'all. But that's what I say. But let's see what the professor got
here that led him to take what already appears to be catastrophic actions.
Right. Okay. So this is the key question. Why do they do this? I think there are three possibilities, okay? And I think all three possibilities are valid. The first is the idea of hubris. You look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Maduro kidnapping was quick, successful, and it was adrenaline rush for Trump. And that made him overconfident in the capacity of the American military, okay? So hubris is a factor, and we see this throughout history. Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily, and he thought it was invincible, right? And that led to the destruction of the German army in the Soviet Union. So hubris is a factor. Then you have to look at internal political calculus, where even though America does not benefit from this war against Iran, Trump himself personally benefits. Why? Because...
Y'all heard that? There is no benefit. And this is the professor that studies these things, geopolitics things. He does not see any benefit to the United States of America for waging this war against Iran. Iran, or whatever, how you say it. I know now we all messed up on it. But there's no benefit. Now, there might be a benefit for Trump. He's about to explain that. But for the American people, for the country, there's no benefit. There's absolutely none.
Personally benefits. Why? Because the Saudis and Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember that the Saudis invested $2 billion in the private equity fund of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. And the Israelis, through Miriam Adelson, have been financing Trump's political career, right? So Miriam Adelson...
And all that insider dealing, this all happening with the guy who said he was going to drain the swamp. Y'all remember that? I had so many folks in my face telling me he's draining the swamp. He's going to break down all that corruption. Look like that motherfucker goddamn benefiting from it.
And a few months back said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a third term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and Israelis. Also remember that if this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use ground troops, he will probably get approval from Congress, and this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term. And I think at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have emergency war powers and people rally around the flag, then he probably will get a third term. And the last factor...
And that's the scary part. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day, man. I'm like, and I'm listening to this professor break it down. It's like all these different... When you want to project out, you want to project multiple scenarios. I trip at people that they were like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, and they think about it one way and be like, yeah, I planned it out. It's like, no, you need to think about all the different variables that can play in for why this shit can go left either way. Like, I understand you got the goal of what you want to do, but this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. All this shit could happen. And he's going through the scenarios. This could possibly be a play. Just throwing it out there for a third term. Because if we had war and Congress approves it, they endow the president with wartime powers. You can stop elections, y'all. It's possible. But, it's also listed in Project 2025, and we was telling y'all to actually read that shit, and y'all told us we was crazy, we was being conspiracy theorists. But it's actually in the book, and it's seeming like a lot of the shit that's in there, pretty much everything that's in there, that they were trying to mark off that they wanted to do, they've been just checking the list off. They like Santa Claus out here. They making a list and they checking it twice. They checking it twice. It could possibly be an issue, but let's see what the third option might be.
That is very important. It's an eschatological factor where, if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major groups, okay? You have the Jesuits, who control the Vatican. You have the Sephardim Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. You have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's almost like a script that they're following, even though it doesn't make any geopolitical sense, okay? So I would say that these three are the best reasons why this is happening.
Wow. Well, sir, I hope you come back. This was very informative, I think, for both of us. We deeply appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, if you like that video.
Hey, if you like that video, make sure you tune in next time I find something good on the internet. He's not playing. And that was the part that Hurricane was kind of speaking on earlier. These people have some belief that if they do a certain thing on this earth, that they're going to bring heaven to earth. They're going to bring about the end of times. And I think they on some shit. But this situation that's going on over there is not good for any of us in America. There is no benefit to us at all. Zero. Hold up real quick, like. There's no benefit to us. We don't benefit one bit from this. Israel might benefit. Saudi Arabia might benefit, but we don't. And especially in the times that we're living in right now, where we know how the economy is, we know how the job market is for a lot of people, we really have to sit back and ask ourselves why. Because this motherfucker did run on America first, y'all. We're spending too much money in other countries. We're wasting money on endless wars, all these things. And it's like, nigga, you're doing exactly. And I'm just gonna be honest, for the people over here that was on the side that told you he was gonna do this dumb shit, we kind of told you so. But I see a lot of people sitting around here now regretting, talking about they regret their vote and stuff. And I was like, we got too many dummies in this country, man. We have too many dummies in this country, because it was clear as day that this dude didn't have any good, like, the United States as a whole was never an interest of his to do good by. Never, ever. He was always out for himself. He's always been out for himself. This man don't know the trials and tribulations of the average day man. He's never had to live that. But we had so many average day men and women voting for this guy because they felt like he was going to help them. Or also, the main thing I think they voted for him on is because they thought he was going to hurt people they wanted to be hurt. But the people they wanted to be hurt were told that they were bad people and needed to be hurt by the same fucking whole system's whole engine that runs their entire side of the political aisle. And it goes both ways when it comes to the left. I just don't think the left is as diabolical as the right, to be honest with you. I know they're bad, but there's two sides of a coin, but one side of the coin a little bit bigger than the other one, to be honest with you. Like Republicans, when they be on their evil shit, they get on their evil shit and they do their evil shit. Democrats, they'll try to do that shit in silence, or they just don't do it. Because everybody talk about, oh, how bad it is with Trump with deporting these illegals. They don't know how to do it right because they're stupid. You should have did it like Obama did it. Did it in silence. And people wouldn't have no problem with it. That's why I laugh when they say the Democrats are for illegal immigration, but the one president that deported the most illegals in modern day times, literally within the last fucking 15, 20 years, was from the Democratic side, not y'all side. And y'all been ranting and raving that y'all want to get people up out of here. And now you're seeing how it's hurting you. Don't even know how to do it the right way. But look, y'all, I wanted to do a catch up. On what's been going on lately. I'm actually filling up a little bit, man. Might do an Omegle, man. Might stop this and do a whole nother one. But yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, share, turn notifications on, all that in the bag of chips. But also, man, be mindful of what the hell is going on. I want a lot of people to get a little bit more politically involved. Like, for real, man. Or at least not if you don't want to get politically involved and get out here and be talking and whatever the fuck. At least inform yourself about what the fuck is going on. Because, man, like, these people playing in our face right now. We ain't got no money for this. We ain't got no money for that. The illegals been taking all our money, but we over here waging wars and going to other countries and shit. We obviously got a lot of money, y'all. We got a lot of money. They just don't want to give it to you. They want to tell you that people that need help are welfare queens and, you know, just living off the system and shit when they're going around to other countries and deleting people on the regular with no benefit coming to this country, with no threat directed towards this country. Just doing it just because, you know, we like to shoot missiles off, shoot guns, and kill people. Start questioning your government. Get a little bit more informed about what the hell is going on. Look, man, I appreciate all y'all, man. I already said do the like, subscribe, share, and all that in the bag of chips, man. So, like, I'm gonna set up this Omegle shit in a second, man. I gotta get my ravioli on the stove, man. I'm eating ravioli tonight. But man, we gonna do an Omegle show after this, man. Don't see who on the internet tonight, man. But I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one as always, man. Yes, tomorrow we're definitely doing a full Omegle show. But I'll catch y'all in the next one as always, man.